here's a quote from the head coach. Currently, it's 12:02 Eastern.
Yeah, that's right.
The head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers 1 week ago about his program and his team, and if he feels as if he's lost the locker room.
Brandon, there's so many close losses that it's kind of you compare and said kind of similar things about things that went one way, things that went the other way. Do you still feel like your messaging is hitting to people, to the members of this team, and still coming across?
Yeah, otherwise you'd get blown out of the stadium.
Okay.
In one of these games, you get blown out of the stadium, and that hasn't happened. We've been tight with the best in the league, and the way we've practiced, you would know, and the way that our guys compete in the game. So we're going to have to continue to make adjustments to close these games out and play a cleaner game in all three phases. But this is a close locker room, and they got a lot of pride, and we're going to be tested moving forward.
Okay, so that's less than a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what the Chargers players heard was, is that right? So that's what we got to...
That's all it's going to take?
Now, that's what the internet was saying about Brandon Staley.
Yeah, big time.
A lot of people on the internet, former players, people that have been around in the NFL a long time, said, you know what this is? This is this team saying, on a grand stage, primetime game, divisional rival game, we hate this.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I don't think any player wants to put bad tape on the field. And every once in a while, you can run into a buzzsaw. Our Colts team did that to the Pittsburgh Steelers a couple times, the New England Patriots a couple times. That can take place. But the lack of fight, the lack of will. Now, they're on Easton Stick as a quarterback. He'd only had 23 attempts going into the game. He'd been in the NFL since 2019.
Damn.
Did you know that?
No.
I did not know that. They put that up there. He got drafted 2019 or whatever, came into the NFL. That's a long time. This guy's been around a long time. So right before he took that first snap, I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe Easton. Maybe this is a situation, Jordan Love was backup for a long time. Geno Smith was obviously a starter, but then he was a backup for a long time. He comes back, finally gets his opportunity. He does well. I think to myself, maybe Easton Stick's going to be the guy.
Absolutely.
Maybe the boys will rally around this vet who hasn't had his opportunity. He's been sitting around waiting for this glorious moment. That did not happen.
No.
We're talking about mistake. Ineptitude. It looked bad. Aiden O'Connell on the offense side looked like a freak. The Raiders defense turned it over so many times. And Chuck Pagano yesterday said that if he was Antonio Pierce talking to this Raiders team, he would say to them, hey, we punched them right in the mouth early and then step on their throat. They're going to quit. They want to quit. And guess what? They did.
Yeah.
That was an ass beating last night, Boston Connor, from start to finish. And if you're a Raiders fan or Raiders man, and you see Aiden O'Donnell dropping balls like that to Jacoby Myers making phenomenal catches, and Devontae Adams having the time of his life on the sideline, and obviously old tight end from Notre Dame.
Hell yeah.
This dude's an absolute beast. Mike
Mayer.
Almost called him John Mayer. But that's because that's how smooth this dude is at the size in which he is. He's a road blocker. He's a freak out of the... Look at this.
Jeez.
They just dominated
Walking in.
every single facet of the game last night. If you're a Raiders fan, you got to be pumped. If you're a Chargers fan, you're ready for change. And right now, as sports fans, we're all eagerly awaiting about when the decision will be made on Brandon Staley.
Yeah, if you're a Raiders fan, I feel like you are in the mindset of, hey, nobody wants to play us right now. Like after they just put up 63 points, after getting shut out the week before, it's like, hey, now we know what the Raiders look like at their best. And their offensive line for the Chargers, not terrible, not awful. That's Rashawn Slater. He's a first-round pick. He just went right around him, and then they just looked at the ball on the ground and let him score. It is pretty bold. I believe 2 plays later for the Chargers, there's a unbelievable pick six from Jack Jones.
Breaking news.
There it is.
No.
As we are speaking about the potential situation, it is now official. Brandon Staley has been fired as the Los Angeles Chargers head coach. There was a lot of historic records that were broken last night, the most amount of points in the Raiders franchise history. Obviously, one of the biggest blowouts in the first half a game has ever been seen in the NFL. And now, after years of this conversation taking place, after close loss after close loss after close loss, after really not getting any better and seemingly wasting Justin Herbert's entire existence as this former quarterback who's a defensive coordinator, who was an NCAA D3 coach just about 5 years before he got his head coaching job. People have been wondering when he was going to get fired. Ownership, though, maybe doesn't want to have to pay fired coach and do the whole song and dance.
Yep.
They decide today he is fired. Also fired from the Los Angeles Chargers, we are learning.
No way.
General manager, friend of the program. Tom Telesco is what I am being told as well here. So GM and head coach out after what happened last night to a division rival on prime time. And GM.
There's only one reason why.
There's 3 weeks left. There's 3 weeks left for them. They got interim GM and interim head coach.
Jeez.
All eyes are on the future. All eyes are on next season, hopefully with Justin Herbert with another coach, another offensive coordinator. Because remember, Kellen Moore came in this year. He was supposed to be the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, whenever he was down at Dallas, he was the guy. He led Dak to everything. Then Mike McCarthy takes over the play calling and says, I know what Kellen wants to do. Kellen wants to run up a scoreboard because Kellen wants to be a head coach someday. I used to be in Kellen's spot. And if you think about where Dallas is right now, with Mike McCarthy calling plays,
Pretty good spot.
and where the Chargers are right now with Kellen Moore calling plays, I think Kellen Moore wishes that he was potentially in a different place. Will he be the interim head coach? Now all eyes are on who's next and what do they do. This opens up for, though.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it does, GM.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Coach.
Doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, this was kind of the situation I've been staring down for the past 3 weeks. Once the Chargers beat the Patriots 6-0 in New England, it was like, oh, okay, so Staley's probably got a week or two left, and then this will get really ugly, and here we are. I still, we'll stand by. We'll figure that out later. But when you mentioned all those teams, like the Colts ran into the Steelers and the Patriots and the Ravens sometimes, I bet, like the Raiders weren't rolling. They just got shut out. And then
worst in franchise history. Antonio Pearson, speech after the game, actually said, Tay, what'd you say last week? We're on the wrong side of history. This week, we're on the right side of history. Most points in franchise history. Yeah, it was not good.
No.
Less than a week ago.
And both teams were 5-8. It was like clearly one team saying, hey, we are not mathematically eliminated. We can still win out and have a chance. And then the other team saying, kind of like a la Anthony Lynn when he was with the Chargers before Brandon Staley, saying, hey, boys, we don't have a chance to make it into the playoffs anymore, even though they did at that time, the year before they hired Brandon Staley.
What a shit show.
Dump.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Dump of a building.
Legit.
Yes.
Like their fans are very passionate and everything like that. They've had to deal with a city change.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You just go back to that whole thing. Playing in an MLS stadium, then going into the Rams stadium, then the Rams win a Super Bowl in LA, and then now you got the face in Justin Herbert. Everybody says it. Everybody thinks it. Everybody knows that to be the case. And you're just kind of, I guess, fumbling it out of even relevance. It is a fascinating dynamic over there because even if you have, and we don't know how much money the Spanos family has, it's been that's a whole nother added thing into this entire conversation. But it's like even if you have, and we're seeing this with Carolina, it's hard. It is really hard to win.
Yeah, you need a lot of players.
So if you could find somebody that's won before, like normally that's why it's a safe decision to make. Bill Belichick.
They have to.
Could you fathom? Now, people are going to say that that's us saying that he's out. We don't know that.
Don't know that.
We have no idea.
They got a roster.
Bill and Bob Kraft are going to talk. Okay, they'll decide what happens. Bill could get an extension for 5 years. We have no idea what's going to take place up there. We are only telling you what everything is being reported and talked about.
Yes.
We are just as surprised as everybody else that Bill Belichick could potentially no longer be with the Patriots, but that's a reality, allegedly, from all people talking around the situation. You got Herbert, obviously. So, and with Belichick, you would think you'd be able to find an offensive coordinator. You would hope that would be the case.
Yeah, I mean, probably Josh McDaniels, if we're being serious here. He loves to bring back his former play callers.
He does keep it in-house mostly, but Josh McDaniels has not had a lot of success. Billy O this year did not have a lot of success. But is that because of the quarterbacks, because of the groceries that he had, or because he doesn't have it anymore?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a grocery situation there, and they got groceries in L.A. I would think that Bill Belichick, with a player like Derwin James, would make that defense, and Derwin James specifically, probably like defensive player of the year, just because of how good he is around the ball and in the back end. We don't know. We are
not acting like we're knowing.
No,
we don't envy
not.
the position that Bob Kraft.
Yeah, I do not. Bingo.
Yeah.
Right.
We do not envy Bob Kraft's position at all.
But if it were to happen, the Chargers you need to sell out completely to go get Belichick. Like it's been the same way since they got Herbert. It's like you're relying on this guy to basically score 45 points a game. You need him to overcome everything else that's going on. I mean, ultimately, like, yeah, wasting Herbert's potential and stuff like that. But that's why Staley got fired, is he's a defensive guru, and the defense hasn't been worth a shit since he got there, pretty much. You bring in a guy like Bill who can revamp that defense, you would think, almost overnight. Like, they need enough of this splash stuff. Like, hey, we want a young guy who can unlock more of Herbert's potential. Like, don't need to do that. Herbert's proven, like, he's a dude. He's a guy. Like, he's going to be fine no matter what. You need a guy who knows how to win, and you need someone who can kind of maybe break this like Chargers curse, where it doesn't matter who they have, they just can't seem to get over that hump. If Belichick is to get fired,
which we do not know,
or mutually parts ways, or whatever happens, the Chargers give him $100 million.
So we don't know if they have that amount of money, but we can get a glimpse into what the future looks like from the Spanos family. They've released a statement. I want to thank Tom and Brandon for their hard work, dedication, and professionalism, and wish both them and their great families nothing but the best, said owner and chairman of the board, Dean Spanos. These decisions are never easy, nor are they something I take lightly, especially when you consider the number of people they impact. We are clearly not where we expect to be, however, and we need new vision. We are clearly not where we expect to be, however, and we need new vision. All right. I thought I was doing nothing in the name of continuity was not a risk I was willing to take. Our fans have stood strong through so many ups and downs in close games. They deserve more. Frankly, they've earned more. Building and maintaining a championship caliber program remains our ultimate goal, and reimagining how we achieve that goal begins today. And that's from Dean Spanos. I like that he quoted himself in the middle of his quote that he released himself.
My God.
Pretty good.
That's really good.
Yep.
They're not getting Bill, I'll tell you that much. If that is how the owner is
we don't know.
Bill Belichick.
We do not know what we just saw.
Yeah,
but we do, and maybe I didn't read it right, because, people speak different. His flow could have been much different.
We read it right.
There's a couple sentences there that obviously we don't fully understand, but I like what he's thinking. He's saying, hey, listen, that is from the Chargers. Okay. From the Chargers.
Okay.
Just release the quote that you don't have to put in the middle of it that he said it.
Ain't going there.
We get it, And the Chargers social team is very good. Hopefully they don't get
canned, yeah.
Let's make sure we keep the social team and the digital team over there at the Chargers. They are very talented. Maybe put them.
Yeah,
move them up.
Maybe have the social team run the entire damn program over there. But them talking about reimagining the vision of what a successful, that whole thing, that's good news. That means they're going to invest. Them talking about their fans earning it and deserving it, I think it's the right angle, too. What's the angle normally? This one is to let them know that they hear them, they see them, and they're hoping for the same. But everything will be about the actions they take from this point forward. Because last night was a great indicator of where that locker room and culture is, and it's in the dumps.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a Chargers fan, you should be bummed out about it, like Kirk Herbstreit said he was late in the fourth quarter.
Bummed out about last night or today?
Chargers fans should be pumped about where they are today, but bummed out about where it got to.
Yeah, I think definitely bummed out last night, but there was a lot of people calling for that job at halftime of last night, and I assume they weren't kind of bummed out about that one. I think they should thank the Raiders. We were talking about it yesterday, how kind of when you play your rivals and it doesn't go well, this stuff happens. Like the last 6 times the Browns have got a new head coach or fired their head coach, was after a Steelers loss. The Steelers fired their OC after a Browns loss. We talked about yesterday with the Patriots, and when you play your rival and you don't look good against your rival, it kind of spurs action. Last night, Chargers, Raiders, it spurs action there. And it's kind of how it happens in the division and stuff.
Because it's like a measuring stick.
Yeah.
Like the Colts Patriots. So after the Colts lost to the Patriots last year, that was when Jim Irsay, after a long time of not good stuff happening, moves on from Frank Reich, brings in Jeff Saturday. The alleged report from Tommy Curran is after the Colts beat the Patriots in Germany, allegedly from sources in the know at the time, is what Tommy Curran said.
Right.
That was when the decision was made. We're moving on. It is like a measuring stick. Like the owner actually sees, oh, that's where we're supposed to be. That's where we're not supposed to be.